Yeah, really, really proud of the mentality and the fight. This is a tough opponent in a tough environment. It's pretty windy. Turf didn't play as great as we had hoped. So all in all, when you look at the result, when you look at the fight from the group, the desire to press, I think you put yourself in a position to have success in these games on the road when you have that at the minimum. So really, really proud of everybody in that locker room.
You look defensively at this game. At the stats reform said it was a .09 expected goals for Loudoun. They didn't get a shot off until the second half. What was making that work today, and just in general, that's not been out of the ordinary for you all this season.
Yeah, I think the collective pressure from the group, from it starts with our forwards up higher up the field, and then our defenders collectively stepping with them. I thought the three in the middle of the field did an excellent job in Tyler, Corbin, and Paulo of cutting off passing lanes and applying the pressure that was needed. Again, I don't know what the shot total ended up being at the end of the game, but it can't be too much from what we saw. So I think we talked at halftime about we were going to lose the wind, so we need to raise the pressure and the mentality even more. And I felt our players certainly did that.
To get that early goal from Wilson, and you mentioned the wind. How does that change the game or relieve some of that pressure to try and score on what is obviously a tough day to control the ball?
Yeah, well, we spoke about making sure that we have the movement in behind. I think it was Brian that played Jorge into space. They had a little bit of a high line, and Wilson puts himself in a position to score from Jorge. And then in the second half, at halftime, we talked about making sure that we had the movement from Brian, from Jorge and Wilson in behind their back line. It was an excellent ball from Wes, and a really good finish from Brian. I felt again the work rate from everybody on the field tonight, and the mentality and the belief was excellent. We talked again at halftime about wanting to keep the zero. I think at halftime there was 0 shots on goal from what I was presented, and we wanted to, honestly, we talked about don't give them one shot in the second half. So all in all, an excellent effort against a tough opponent.
Andrew, would you like to go next?
Yeah, hey, Danny. It's been brought up, I know, a few times, but this is now officially the longest unbeaten start to a season this club's ever had. To do this without someone like a Cam Lancaster, I mean, just how impressive has this start been?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Cam is an integral part of how we want to play and the culture in the locker room. He's a fantastic player. At the same time, I've said it numerous times. I have full belief in all the players in that locker room. I think Wilson's done a really good job. Obviously scoring goals and his work rate has been fantastic. And I think when we get Cam back, what you're going to see is two really, really good forwards that can provide goals and defend collectively. So, I'm obviously happy about the start that we've had so far. But again, we talk all the time about the importance of taking it week by week. And if we want to achieve the goals that we've set, these performances on the road in tough environments are something that have to continue to happen. So there's a strong belief in the group right now. The culture that is set at this club, you can tell that the new players coming in are integrated and completely bought in. And for us, that's what it's about.
Tyler, you're good to go.
Hey, Danny. Brian was mentioning the biggest maybe difference or reason he's noticed for this start is just kind of the collective buy-in, especially in the defensive work rate. Is that what stands out the most to you for why this start is the way it is right now?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think as a team comes together and begins to grow with one another, everybody's obviously fighting for a common goal, and relationships begin to build. I think certainly that from back to front, whether players are starting or whether players are on the bench or not in the 18, you absolutely have that collective buy-in right now. And from a defensive standpoint, I talked to the players yesterday about when anybody watches us play, I want them to take away that team fights for one another, that they have a strong mentality, and that they're looking to press for 90 minutes. And so far, throughout this season, I think we've certainly had that. I would add that I do feel we need to continue to improve in the final third. There was a lot of opportunities tonight that I think the ball needs to go in the back of the net. And the players know that. We'll continue to work on it. We'll continue to address it. But if you have that defensive fight and you have that mentality, you're going to give yourself a chance to win a lot of games. And I think you're seeing that so far.
And just one more from me. There was a certain point where Brian Omi last year seemed to just hit a different level, and it seems like he's just carried that over into this season. I remember you mentioning a lot of confidence from him being the difference. Is that what's allowed him to carry it over into this season, or how have you seen him improve to sustain?
Yeah, listen, I think he's been fantastic. I think he's stretching the opponent, making it difficult to deal with him. He's doing the work defensively. He's obviously creating opportunities in the final third. You know, we had a good conversation yesterday, a one-on-one, and I felt that, you know, I wanted to relay to him the importance of the performances that he's had so far. You know, and just we needed it again today, and I felt that he certainly brought that. And you know, for me, I think he's one of the most dangerous players in the league, and I think he continues to show that.
Danny, last one. You were talking the other day about how you feel like this team is starting to look more and more like a team that you coach, and you kept using the word bite. And I was hoping you could just expand on that a little bit. When you say a team has bite, you know, is that reflected in the defense or the foul total? Or, you know, there's just quite a few whistles today, and I don't know if that's kind of part of the mission there is to be aggressive.
Yeah, listen, I talked a little bit about that at halftime, and even the foul count. You know, for me, hopefully what we saw here, what we saw against New York on the road, my hope is that people do look at that team and look at the bite that every player has. So when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about the getting stuck in tackles, the doing the extra 5 yards of work that is needed in order to get the result. You know, we talk to the players a lot about every moment matters. A throw in matters. Defending a throw in matters. You know, tracking your runner in the box, it matters. And when I see a group of players that are buzzing around the field for 90 minutes, that are fighting for one another, fighting for the crest that they wear, that's what I hope that people see. When they see us play. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about bite.